Listen, if you're watching right now, stop real quick. Scroll down, subscribe if you're not subscribed, like, comment. It helps the situation. It helps us out, helps push the name. We also have a TikTok. We have a new TikTok, But Another DJ. Look it up. We have all our clips on there. We got some funny stuff that we react to online. Make sure you do that. Don't forget Instagram as well, But Another DJ. Help us out, man. We love you guys. We love the support. You know what we do here. We know what you do there. Watch us everywhere.
But I know the DJ.
Do you?
You gotta
90s baby, stand up.
You're coming back because I'm blowing in it. Pause. I take my craft serious.
Get the hell out of here. I don't owe you shit.
Welcome to episode 51 of But I Know the DJ, the original New England podcast discussing all things DJing, music, nightlife, business, and pop culture through the unfiltered opinions of folks. Snacks!
GimmeSnax, baby!
AKA your sister's sneaky link, DJs FINGAZ and Cammy V.
DJ Cammy V.
Powered by Dope Entertainment. We got another crazy episode, a lot to talk about. I do want to open the show by just, acknowledging something that's kind of big in our community, specifically in our city here in Boston, the Boston Music Awards. I personally have been nominated again for the second year in a row for a DJ of the Year. I won last year, and the reason I want to bring this up, one, is because we do want to talk about it, but also we also are putting out into the world, manifesting that they do have a podcast category that we have not been nominated yet for, as we grow and continue to grow and continue with all your support, and you know, with our growing team, you know, we added to co-host this year, so everything is just looking very up. That is a goal of ours, just to again be recognized at some point by the BMAs, by the people. And so I'll just wanted to open the floor up with the Boston Music Awards of 2022.
Well, there's a lot of categories. Do you actually have the categories?
I can open that up right now.
I know what we focus on a lot is the DJ category, DJ of the Year category.
Of course.
It's always been a talk of
the year, the season
for as long as I can remember, 10 years plus since I've entered like the Boston downtown scene.
Yeah, so they've actually been around since the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they have. It began and it started in the 80s, and it's been around. Obviously, I'm sure at that time it was super small.
Yeah.
You know, as everything needs to grow, but now they do Big Night Live. They do House of Blues. Last year they did. I mean, I think it was the first post-COVID or post-lockdown rather. Award, so they had it a little bit more downsized, Bright Music Hall, but this year it is at Big Night Live. Yeah,
that's gonna be crazy. I think that's such a big venue, and obviously for like anytime that you want to put a light on local talent and stuff like that, you do want to have it as like the biggest room possible, the biggest format possible. Yeah. But why do you guys think? We've talked about this outside of the podcast. Why do you guys think the DJs in the city of Boston really care about? Why should we care about the BMAs?
Why should we care?
Why do you think DJs put a lot into caring?
So is
about
it why
the
should we care or why do we care? Those are two different things.
Both.
So I think why should we care? As last year was the first one I attended, and honestly, and I was talking to a couple other people about this. Like what they do really well, and what is at the end of the day the real point of it is highlighting talent, right? And it's very much like the Grammys. It's very much like any other award show. Like there's performances from those nominated. Again, the people that they want to highlight, and it's just a bunch of people that are like, you're in, like, think of Big Night Live or House of Blues. Like you're standing there. There's a bar. There's drinks. You're like seeing people that maybe you only seen on Instagram. You're meeting them for the first time. Oh my God, congratulations. Oh my God, whatever. And then you're seeing these bands and singers and performers. Again, for me, for a lot of them was for the first time, and being like, "Fuck, these people are dope as fuck."
Yeah.
And connecting on Instagram afterwards, or like following up with them, and like being like, "Damn, like there is some really really dope talent." And again, that I think is the point of it.
That's my favorite aspect of
yeah.
it.
Like that was something I really left. I've been like, "Wow, this is dope."
The different. Talent in Boston. Yeah. So I would go through the categories and just like, oh, who's that? And I would look them up and be like, oh, wow.
So I do want to run through quickly the categories: Artist of the Year, New Artist of the Year, Album EP of the Year, million+ streams, Album EP of the Year, Song of the Year, million+ streams, then Song of the Year, Video of the Year, Live Artist of the Year, Alternative Indie Artist of the Year, Americana Artist of the Year, Blues Artist of the Year, Country Music Artist, Dance Electronic Artist of the Year, DJ of the Year, Folk Artist of the Year, Hip Hop Artist of the Year, Jazz Artist of the Year, Latin Artist, Metal Artist, Pop Artist, Punk Hardcore Artist, R&B Artist, Reggae, Ska, rock artist, singer-songwriter, spoken word, vocalist, session musician, live music venue 1,000 plus, live music venue 250 plus, live music venue under 250, music promoter, talent buyer, production manager, recording studio producer, music publication, music journalist, live music photographer, live music videographer, music podcast radio show of the year. So those are all the categories. So it covers a lot, and there's no way. I don't think anyone can like go through all the nominees here and be like, oh, I know every single person.
No,
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Agreed.
And I think, and again, even on the national scale, when we think of some, or the world, or the international scale, if we think about like a Grammy or something like that, like there's always people who are like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And people have their musical preferences and tastes, so they're like, okay, I know all these dudes, but I don't know any of those artists because that's just not my cup of tea or whatever.
And then for what it's worth, I think it should be a bigger thing. It should be celebrated a little more since they've been around for a while and they have the word Boston in their title. So from the outside looking in, it looks like it's the legit. It's the window into Boston if you're out. If you're out of town. So I feel like there's not a lot of support from the artists that like hey, posting it or whatever, like, or hey, come to this, come support me here. I think some artists don't even show up.
Yeah,
I've heard.
A lot don't.
And I'm talking about a lot of the artists that like are kind of like popular. From what I've heard, one thing I would want to know is the process of how they.
I just want to interrupt you just before you leave your point about artists not showing up. Last year, Bia got nominated for like everything. That was like big. You saw like the 1 million plus streams and stuff, and she didn't show up, which I didn't really expect her to.
Yeah.
But she got booed on one of her wins.
Really?
Yeah, she got
Wow.
because they announced your win. And you won.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of those things where so many of the nominees are like underground. And like are people that want to make it, and they care a lot about it. And I think Bia's just made it to the point where I think she's more concerned about chasing a Grammy than chasing a BMA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I think it was one of those things where it's like, oh, of course you won. Like, fuck, like it should go to like the, which again I get, but it's also like most of the people that are voted, like let's say if they're only concerned for DJ of the year and they just happen to like be going through the only person I know here is Bia.
Yeah.
Right.
So it all just kind of plays into. So I just wanted to like.
I mean, I think that stunts the growth and the validity of the awards, because it's like, then it just becomes like a local award when you're just like, no, we have artists that are nationally syndicated.
I agree.
Nailed it.
But if you're not showing up, if you're not showing love for it, or if you're not, putting any validity to it by not showing up, that's what's coming off on that. So
I agree.
Why should we support it? Why should we take it, serious, right?
Yeah.
So my thing with wanting to take it serious, especially in the DJ category, which is because we're all DJs, the DJ podcast.
Yep.
So that's something that we're going to hone on in, is the process of picking the DJ, like the criteria, like what boxes you're checking off.
Yeah.
And then, one thing that I don't agree with is the voting aspect of it. Because at that point, it becomes more of a popularity contest than we have a panel of trusted, cultured people that have their ears in the streets, that have done this for a while, that know what a great DJ is, that knows the stats, that knows what's going on, and then they're picking who wins, which is how the Grammys is. They have a board,
right,
and stuff like that.
I want to thank the Academy.
Yes,
and that circles back to his point too, as to like why Bia would win those types of awards, just because, like you said, she has
a big fan base,
right?
So,
it's almost a popularity contest.
So my thing is, at that point, that's where I kind of lose my love for it, because you can have somebody that didn't have a great year as much as somebody that did, but if they have more votes, is that where the brick stops? Is that where they're like, okay, we picked these guys, now let's see what people think, and then that's where whoever gets the most votes wins? I mean, you won, so you had to do the voting thing, right?
What?
You had to get people to vote for you.
Yeah, like I can't
stuff
like
like
that. Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I think anything. I mean, we think about our high school president, whatever, assuming government shit. Like when it becomes no one likes it when it becomes a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Even those, like I said, like I don't like I don't want to be out here campaigning for whatever. Like if I wanted, I have to do it.
I mean, and that's where for me, that's where I lose my interest in it's you know, as being in an award show.
Yeah, but the reason why we all get caught up in it to a certain extent is because it is the only platform that takes into consideration
the only legitimate one.
It's the only legitimate platform that takes into account of DJs essentially.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we're humans. Like, we want to be validated, and we appreciate titles. Like, you know, there's fucking girls begging for a title with me all year. Like, it's ridiculous.
I'm glad you're finally.
It's cuffing season, baby.
You know, I'm glad you're finally, you know, taking.
It was just a good moment.
Taking it in for yourself.
Don't make it.
I'm glad, you know, self accountability is everything. I'm glad you're growing into your role and how you are.
Is that my? I mean, whatever.
Future Mrs. Snacks, where you at, baby?
But let's play devil advocate.
It's even as a past winner, like I still understand. Well, one, I understand the validity of it. Yeah. And then I also understand like where it's flawed, because it is. And like we said, even the Grammys are flawed. The fucking year that the heist, Macklemore won everything against Kendrick and Drake and shit. Like, we're all shitting on it. Yeah. But I'm also the one that's like, oh yeah, Kanye 21 Grammys, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? It's all. You have a lot. You're gonna always have a lot to say about an award until you win. Or until you're even nominated. Because before, if you go back, I remember I was talking at the beginning of podcast days before I was ever nominated. I was like talking about how, because I had Real P on the show, and he was a winner from 2019, and we were having this very similar conversation to now, and I was just like, yo, you tell me why I should care, because right now I'm seeing all the holes in it, right? How a lot of people are, right? And then I get nominated. It's like 6 months later, and now all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I gotta like keep quiet, or like now I appreciate because they're recognizing.
But
me.
why do you have to keep quiet?
Not quiet, but like, I mean, I'm talking about on the show, but like now I like, I'm happy. I got. You
nominated. Got your recognition.
I got my recognition. Now I'm like, I'm not out here shitting at anybody no more. You know, I can still speak on the holes of it.
I mean, do you think? I mean, so you have different feelings of the process, and it's
like I said, you're gonna always feel whether it's animosity or disapproval when you're not included.
If you felt like someone had a better year than you, would you ever go on stage and not accept your award?
No. Well, but we have to also understand the process in which.
So that's why I'm like, that's where it changes the damn, I won this, hell yeah.
Well, so I was thinking once, I was like, honestly, I'm not saying it's nothing ever really feels better than winning, right?
Of course.
But there was something about the difference between being nominated and winning, because being nominated, I didn't campaign for it. I found out the same minute everyone else found out. Yeah. I didn't know before. They didn't call me a week before being like, yo, this is coming. I woke up to a bunch of notifications and congratulations. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
This year, I was on a plane when it came out, and when I landed, I was like, why is my phone blowing up?
This list looks almost identical to last year's list.
That's another thing. So hold on. So being nominated, I was just like, to me, in that, thinking back last year, the reflection was like, wow, till this day, I don't know who puts it together. Yeah. But I was like, whoever it is, I made it to a point where they saw me, and that meant a lot to me. The win obviously was fucking sick, but like, I had to like campaign for it, and so again, if it came down to like, oh, if you thought someone deserved it, it was like, well, I did all this campaigning and shit, trying to get people to like up on board with me. I did that work. So like, you know, but if it was like, if it was a different process, and I was just, and another person wins, and it's just like, I can't argue that the Academy thinks so. It could have been either of us. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So again, it depends. The process, it plays a role on my answer on that.
Yeah. I've my discrepancy with it, and I don't care what people might think that I'm hating or this isn't that or whatever. I speak the truth, whether it's favorable to the BMAs, favorable to anybody else, or if anybody else on the list feels a certain way. If you're putting putting Boston in your title, right, and then you're saying this is the best of the year of that person, I feel like the voting system should get out of there. That's number one. Number two, seeing that the list is very identical to last year's list, And without naming any names, there's a few people that shouldn't be on that list. There's people that should be on that list this year.
I would love to talk about the people who should be there.
And one person that I feel that should be on there, and I'm not going to talk about myself because we're going to exclude
personal bias.
Shit.
Yeah.
This is just DJs that I've recognized that shitted this year, that continue to shit this year. Rico should be on that fucking list.
Yeah.
He should have been on that list last year.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that last year.
Yeah, he should have been on that list last year. What he's done, starting his own parties. He was the first to be inside Koi like that to get it popping, to get people to go over
and he's
there.
always been like that. He's the first at Greatest Bar, first at Karma, first at Koi. Like,
And then people go and follow, do whatever they got to do.
He's really good at that.
He's
really
a
good
lot
at
of DJs.
believing in places and having good relationships with them, growing them.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, he was just Christopher Columbus. He's like a Christopher Columbus.
Yo, he's one
Except
of the,
not really.
He's
depends what book you read.
Yeah, let's not talk about Christopher Columbus. He's one of the only DJs to DJ at Royale and then DJ venue and all these.
Yeah.
I think the only one. You do like the Royale events like on Saturdays, like their actual night.
Yeah, I haven't headlined yet, but I've done them. Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like, and then I've been here for over, I've seen it for over 10 years. So I'm like, they've always missed that ball, and it's always been a recycle of the same people.
Right.
So that's where, to me, it has to be something biased in that.
Back to Rico too, because then like you got to think about the stuff that he did with Jammin' and then with Roomba. So
and now he's an official Celtic DJ.
Celtic DJ,
which happened after the nomination, but yes.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying like if we're bringing
somebody, Jammin' don't let nobody crack the mic. He's cracking the mic.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, he's doing amazing things and a lot of things.
Yeah. Shout out to Rico Suave.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I was texting him earlier today. Great, and he's also a great fucking guy.
And a great fucking DJ. You can put him in every room. There's a lot of DJs in that list that you can't put in every room. They have one bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or they're not in these premier spots where when you say Boston, you look for these certain names. You look for certain checkpoints.
House. What's the word? Household names.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where to me, like, I lose I've lost my want to even care because I'm like, there's a pattern here. There's something that's going on. So that's why I wanted to know who was on the board and who's picking these people.
Like I said, I still don't even know.
Because that would say a lot.
Right. Do you think the board, because obviously Snax just ran through 30 categories.
You're going to say what I was going to say.
Do you think the board is really that tapped in or is really that passionate about the DJ category as we are?
No one cares about this award more than DJs.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And so we have to have, right? Yeah, we just read off like 30 fucking categories. And I mean, again, we're happy that we're there.
Yeah.
Right? The DJs, I think, is so important to Boston, just entertainment in general.
To quote Neo, the DJ is the heartbeat of the club.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It is.
And so, I'm happy we're there. But again, the fact that we are, three pretty, successful DJs in our scene, and we don't even know who, like, is in it for us.
Yeah.
Or who's speaking for, like, I think kind of goes to show that like they're probably maybe a little removed.
Yeah, I would love the transparency aspect of the BMAs.
But the thing is, like, again, like think of other award shows that isn't there either.
There's always that discrepancy of where listen, like you said, like you mentioned the whole Grammys and what happened with Macklemore and all shit like that. It's always
you're always going to be against it unless it's on your agenda. Like if Kendrick won that year, like everyone would be like, "Oh, the Grammys always on point."
So to me,
no, I get it.
But for me, if I was ever to win the award, I wouldn't feel anything. I wouldn't feel any accomplishment in that because I'm like, why is he? This guy should be here. I want to be in a list full of people that I know killed it that year. I want to be, and that's where I'm like, why should we care? If this is something that seems like it's some type of hamster wheel of people that are putting people in the position or that like people or that only go to certain spots and then they only know certain DJs, you're not going to these big spots. When you think about the Grammys, they're talking about Billboard, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're naming a lot of DJs that are not fluctuating the Billboard. A lot of motherfuckers that.
So okay, so
You know what
there's
I mean?
10 nominations. A lot is how, like, are we saying all of them? Are we saying half of them? Are we saying like?
I won't name any names.
Yeah, I know
but
we don't want to
say-
name names, but I can.
I say close to half.
I know.
I say
that-
close to half.
I know that there's obviously people missing,
Yeah.
but I don't know. To hear you say like I want to be surrounded by greatness, I think I am.
You wouldn't be a little bit happy?
No.
Yes, he would.
No,
No,
I wouldn't.
dude,
No,
but-
I wouldn't be
you
happy.
sitting here being like, oh, like, I want to be surrounded by greatness, bro. There's greatness in there.
I'm not saying there's not. I'm talking in general. I'm not right now. I'm
Okay.
just saying like if
But that's
if I'm in the list, I want to be. I
'Cause-
want to be on a list to know. Like, listen,
Because there's some heavy hitters
yeah,
in that.
I'm not
list,
saying.
bro.
I didn't say everybody. I said there's
just
people
wanna
on
make
there
sure.
that deserve to be there. There's people that by a long shot shouldn't deserve to be there. Versus the people that are not on there is what I'm talking about.
I think the biggest thing too is this calendar year is like the biggest issue, and I think that ties into your point, where if you want to be surrounded with the best guys of that year.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right.
Of
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
saying? And that's what I mean by that. I'm not saying that like even if like you weren't like on every flyer this year. I'm not saying you're not a great DJ. I'm not saying you have potential to be great. I'm just talking about the output of the year. How many times you were booked. Like I said, I don't know what the criteria is, but like I think that whole voting after they pick you, the whole having people vote aspect needs to cease to exist. Because I feel like
even as you sit here and be like, I have no idea who's back there.
yes. I feel like
You prefer that.
I feel like
as
I
it
feel
stands
like,
right now, you prefer that.
I feel that
wherever that plant panel is.
because then that becomes favoritism. It doesn't become fact. It becomes favoritism. You can have more people on your end to vote, just like you know what I'm saying, like Donald Trump winning and stuff like that. How many people didn't vote just because they didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton either, right? And then they got mad that Donald Trump won because they didn't go vote, or they didn't care to go on their phone to go vote.
Yeah.
So that becomes a favoritism thing. It doesn't become, hey, I worked hard, I deserve this, I won this. Like if that was the point, then I would have given the award to Cisco last year,
Based on what?
based on the year he had. Like, he was on like he blew up with his night with the Fridays. He was very successful. He had a long run with that. He had a lot of publications on like magazines, stuff like that. He did a lot of philanthropy work. He was everywhere. His name was blowing up. I feel like that was his year. With you, I feel like you are more a contender to win this year, because I feel like last year, when did you get your spot as music director? Was it last year?
It was
The beginning of last year.
yeah, it was like March.
So I feel like you kind of settled into your role this year, and you really proved that I can do this. Your content crazy on your page more than last year for me. Even like your output as a DJ too for me, I love it. Your podcast, you're still out here, you're growing, and you're doing so many things. You ran the marathon. You're out there, people love you. You've done a lot more greater things this year than you did last year. It's for me. If I was to pick, if it was to be some like have a board and pick the DJ, for me it would have been Cisco last year.
But he wasn't nominated.
I would have picked
He wasn't,
Snacks
and
for the
that's
record.
and that was, and I posted that too.
So then who did I not deserve to win last year?
Like I said, if it was a validity thing, and this is why I come back to it being, the people picking the people, how I saying it's very similar. That's weird to me. That more than 90% of that list is
And I'll reply to that part of everything
Yeah.
in a little bit too. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I just feel like personally, from a man to a man, from a
Yeah.
friend to a friend, you killed it this year.
yeah,
You know,
But I think like
you were more in people's mouths this year than it was last year.
I think I
And then,
disagree.
I feel
Like because this was my campaign for last year. In that year, we started the podcast,
yeah,
right? So like you being like, oh, like now like the content is good. It's like, yeah, but like we started the podcast that year
yeah,
through a virtual music festival that year that got over 1,000 viewers. No one was close to doing that. I was the first person. I was first DJ in Boston to stream, and that did it at a high capacity. Music director that year, won 2 battles and competed in 3 battles that year. Like, as far as just activity at a high level. You know, if we're applying these check boxes to even to sports, to whatever we want to do, it's like performing at a high capacity, at a high output, all within 1 year.
Yeah.
So for you to be like, okay, like you're like, you know, you're going to contend this year, I think it's a big year. I don't think it's I think it's just like whatever I started, I'm just growing.
Yeah.
So so that's why I'm like, okay, so I deserve to be there again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Right? I think that we can say that.
You should have been nominated. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just feel like, well, with what Cisco was doing, and just that was his year for him.
Yeah, no, like if he was nominated, I would have been like, yeah. Like I remember when the thing came out, he posted something about it, about not being on, and I was like, yeah, like how we're saying Rico now, I was like, yeah, Cisco should be on this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
But that's why I'm saying, like, again, where I'm at is like, okay, if this is the table, and these are the people that are sitting at the table, who's the one eating?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we can talk about people that should have been there, whatever, but like again, this is the table.
Yeah, this is
see
who you have to.
That's why I'm like, you know,
choose.
again, and shout out to Cisco, like he's always been doing a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
King of the North, you know what I mean? Like whatever. But at the end of the day, that's why I want to ask you. I'm like, okay, but he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So like, so then who's the next guy? If it's me, then that's why I want
him
you know
not
what I
being
mean?
there last year is the equivalent of saying, "Yo, LeBron is not in the running," and I just off of caliber. I'm just putting it in tier.
So you're setting me up for this, right? So we can already acknowledge that it can seem clear, especially if you look at the past nomination list.
Yeah, that's why I'm jaded.
It's very clear to see where these people are.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this all the time. Real P winning in 2019 opened a huge door, because especially at that time he was playing at Icon, he was playing at Savor, KGB. Like he was considered a downtown DJ.
Yeah.
Bijou.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He was playing all these spots, and he won, right? And I think personally that, because the year after that, me and Stems get nominated. He opened a huge door for downtown, urban, hip hop DJs, quote unquote, like as far as a name.
I wouldn't say that.
Then who did?
Throughout the history of Boston,
No, for the award.
they've had like urban DJs on there before. I wish we can go back and get to. That's what I meant to do.
No, I'm saying as like a winner, bro.
As a winner.
No, because then the year after that, me and Stems get in. The year after that, they add Cisco in. Like, I think he opened the door. That's all I'm saying. Because before, I mean, Frank White won like 10 times. LeDuc won, I think, twice. Like, and these are people that like aren't in our space. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing like they're all great DJs.
Yeah.
You know, LeDuc was on the show. Shout out LeDuc. Never met Frank. He's a great DJ though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying as far as the category that you would find, because again, Cisco isn't playing at Good Life. He's not playing at Middlesex. He's not playing in Cambridge.
Yeah.
He does this other thing, which is still a huge part of Massachusetts, New England
Absolutely.
DJing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That door wasn't open yet, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think, again, shout out Real P, him winning did a lot in my eyes,
Yeah,
which
but-
opened the door for dudes like me, Stan.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
But my
I
thing,
agree.
my thing with that is like we're saying winning, but you know it's vote based. So how can you say he won something if it's vote based? If somebody has to vote for it, if you have to campaign for it, if it's not people choosing, if it's not credible people choosing that you won,
That's
how do you win
that's
something?
why
Yeah,
I made,
but-
that's why I made the whole point about like how I felt being nominated.
Nominated. Yeah.
Because bro, at the end of the day, obviously, if I have more fucking friends than you, like I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna, sure. But a lot of these votes are like other DJs and other promoters, and they might. I'm gonna be honest, like, and I'm seeing this more this year, and I'm gonna talk about the difference between this year and last year for me. Like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I got, and then they just won't got you. They're gonna still make their opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if they think someone's bigger, like
Yeah.
last year, you could have. I mean, obviously people can vote. You said you voted multiple times this year, whatever. Last year, you could have voted Cisco over me, and that would have been it. And you'd be like, yo, you're my boy, whatever. But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like, the campaign shit, yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, a lot of these votes, bro, are people that care.
They're informed.
Especially in our category, it's
Yeah.
other fucking DJs, and other DJs know what we wish that the panel would know. You feel
but
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a portion of it. That's not. It's a lot of.
I think it makes a difference though. I don't think it's just like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think you know, and like I said, we're all speculating here. We don't know,
Right.
We're all speculating, but just with, you know, with evidence throughout the years, we've seen that, you know, they've missed the mark in certain places. We've had conversations, you know what I'm saying? So, and
But every award show does.
and that's fine, and that's okay. But it's like I said, if you're putting the word Boston in it, we have to talk about it. It's something that we have to talk about because we rep Boston. It's on our backs.
Yeah.
We're here night in, night out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's a lot of people that are going to want to take, you know, some people be like, yo, damn, you know, like, what am I not doing right? You know what I'm saying? So, what am I, I've been booked all year long. Why am I not on that list? That person does Joe Schmo bar. Like, why am I not booked? That's my problem.
That's definitely a thing. And like I said, man, like, I don't have an answer for it.
Right.
Like I just don't because.
Yeah. Hopefully in the future we can have somebody from
That's what I'm saying.
BMAs.
That's because I don't even know.
Right.
And I fucking won.
Yeah.
And I still have no idea.
Because with the academies and all these other places that we know what the system is, right?
Right.
They disclose that. You know, I think since this is a public platform, and they, you know, you're judging people on certain. People need to know what you're judging them off. What are the criteria?
Yes.
And hopefully, if you guys see this, no, it's not. You know, we're not. This is just what everyday conversation happens when you guys drop these lists. People are talking about these lists this way. So, and like, you know, and Snax is my guy. I talk to him every day. You see how, like, you know, being able to have an opinion without being labeled a hater. And that's what I've been seeing too, is that people having opinion on certain things and being labeled a hater. You can see a difference between a hater and someone that's like given an educated opinion on something that's shown a track record. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I talk to it. And that's where being here, seeing it, being here for 15 years plus and seeing these lists and seeing who's been winning and knowing who's been doing what in the city, because I'm tapped in like that, like, you know, it makes me feel a certain way because having that word Boston in there, you don't know what you're doing to the future DJs or the people that did have a good year that year, you know. And then there's people that be like, yo, don't worry about it. It's nothing. It never makes or break you. I'm not.
Right.
You know, but I want to put, by us having this conversation, by us being passionate about it, is putting validity into the awards.
Correct.
To where it becomes more of a household name within Boston, because I feel like it's not.
Yeah.
So us having these conversations is putting validity to it, which I want. I want that space that we have, that we can acknowledge each other and acknowledge the city, and then the city can be familiar with what the city is doing, because I feel like the city is not in touch with the city.
It's going to build a culture within the city.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll be fully transparent too, because I reached out to Snax a couple months ago and I asked him, you know.
I'm not crying, it's the wind.
I love the passion, bro.
A lot of passion. I asked Snax like a couple months ago and I go, yo man, listen, you know, and like this is just me like just humbling myself, obviously, you know, and I just asked him like, hey man, like obviously a big goal for me is not even to just win like the BMAs or anything like that, right? But just to get nominated. I asked him straight up, I go, what do you like from man to man, like you're one of my best friends, like what do you think I need to do to put myself into like that category? And what he just said on the show too was just like, dude, honestly, I won and I don't really know. But what he did say was just continue doing what I'm doing. And I think one of the big things too, which kind of stuck out to me, was throwing your own party, right? And and like that brand continuing
I was
to
throwing my own fucking parties at you, bitch.
but like that
You know I'm gonna be real with you, bro. You know I'm gonna be real with you, man. That was Cisco's year.
But like having that and that resonated with me, because now it's like, okay, like on top of like mastering my craft and doing it for me and doing it for others and building up the culture in the city, there's also a whole other component of it where you're still building. You got to build up your brand and that household name recognition to the point where I'm doing things that I can't be ignored anymore. Like I can't be Boston's best kept secret anymore.
DJ Cammy V.
You know what I mean?
Had the title for a while.
Yeah. So, but like at the end of the day, you know, man, like it's. I think it's a good thing for the culture. I think the BMAs are absolutely great for the city. I think there's definitely things that can be improved on, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to continue to do what I'm going to do. I'm not going to harp on it too much, you know.
Yeah.
But
let's have you guys on the pod, man. Come on, man. Come on.
Absolutely.
Come on the pod. Whoever represents one or two of y'all, it don't matter. If you want to be all y'all, come on the pod. Let's have a conversation.
Before we do close this topic, it's a big one, but I think you know, if you look on DJ Facebook, DJ Instagram, it is a big one. I will say that this being my second campaign year, I guess it's so fucking weird to like, but it is what it is. I did notice like a different energy, in that, like, how do I explain this? Like, okay, so you're saying that, like, if anything, I deserve it more this year than last year.
Yes.
Right. So, but I think this year I'm finding it way harder to like get people with like I guess like excited about it for me.
Yeah.
And I think one of those things like, oh, he already won. Yeah. Or like, oh, like we don't want to see a black
right.
That's
do you
that
think
thing. That's that thing that I'm talking about. That voting shit is favoritism.
I'm like feeling it. Like I'm just like, oh shit, like people aren't like.
Last year, people were blasting you.
Yo, people were like.
They were. I remember that shit.
I remember. I felt like Rocky with the people running behind him, and just like
they were blasting.
Yeah, and this year I was just like, yo, that's not. It's not like.
It's not the case. Yeah.
At all, bro. And I was just.
I was gonna ask.
Yo, it's not the same. And like, I'll like post about it, and people will be like, oh, that's dope or whatever. But I'm just like, yo, but like I made a comment the other day on like Facebook. I was like, yo, like the likes and stuff are cool, but like the actual transactional like support is like you actually voting.
People are fickle, man.
Like, you know
people
what I'm saying?
Fucking fickle. You make it easy. You put the thing right there. The links right there. Just click it.
And I support. And I mean I want to thank everyone that has been supportive and that I know is voting and riding that wave and like has been saying a lot of amazing things and everything like that. But that is something that like I did want to like mention that is like yo.
I was gonna ask if you felt that, bro.
The energy is way different. And again, like if you don't think I deserve it, more power to you. Like I already won that shit. You know what I'm saying? Do I want to win? I would love to win again. It's great. And
he kind of won that shit.
And
he kind of won it.
He won. He won.
He didn't, but he kind of won.
Hey,
it.
hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, I got you.
My
bro.
last year one?
Yeah.
I got you, bro. I'm not gonna
I voted.
I'm not gonna let him disrespect like that.
So do you think I should given the nominees?
We'll have this conversation this time next year.
No, given the current nominees, do you think I should win? If you're saying I deserve it more this year than last year, but now we throw in the bone that there's other nominees. Do you sit here now and be like, yo, I think you?
We'll have this conversation this time next year.
Why next year?
When the new list comes out, just like I had last year's conversation this time around, same thing. I'll let you know that. Listen, I gotta think about it. I just want to blur it out. This time next year, we'll have this conversation again.
Why being a bitch?
I'm not being a bitch. Clearly, I'm not being a bitch. I told you on live fucking camera that you shouldn't have won last year. Nobody's gonna tell you that shit to your face, but me. Can we agree to disagree on that? 8-0? No one's gonna fucking say that shit, but me. Hello,
but. Okay, but my thing is the person that you saying should have won wasn't nominated. That's my point.
And that's an issue.
But we just talked about this. But they didn't. But they weren't there.
That's my whole collective thing of that. They weren't there. You won. But then again, it was votes.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna take a moment that after the whole conversation, you can consider voting for me for DJ.
Vote for Snacks, man.
Appreciate
Vote for
you guys
Snacks.
listening. We put out this content.
He's worked hard this year. He's done a lot of shit this year. He lasted through fucking being a music director in these clubs and dealing with all diva DJs trying to get booked. He's done this thing. He ran the marathon.
So I would appreciate it if I
has
got your
dad
vote.
shorts on.
Yep.
And I'll continue to continue pushing DJ culture forward for the greater good. And yeah.
Shout out all the nominees.
Shout out all the nominees.
Yep.
Amazing talent.
Yep.
Let me see if I can get this. Super Smash Bros, Tofu, Real P, Baby Indiglo, Slick Vic, Knife, Real P, did I say that already? Stams, Cisco, and then me. 10. Got them all. Shout out all my DJs out there. And if this is a goal of yours, just keep working, keep grinding.
Yep.
Because again, like I used to be kind of resentful of this shit too. You know what I mean? I'd be like, yo, I feel like I deserve to be here, whatever. And there's just a point where you just gotta keep putting your head down.
Yep.
Keep doing more until they have to nominate you.
I almost Kanye'd him last year. If I went, I would have ran on stage. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't show up. I would have ran on stage. it was blasphemy.
I would have tackled
It
you.
was a
You're saying I didn't deserve my win at all, bro?
No,
Like,
I'm not
what?
saying that.
That's
I'm
exactly
just
what you're
saying
saying. That's exactly what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's these words mean things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I would have Kanye you last year. I would have hopped on.
No. Who that was nominated last year deserved it over me? That's my question.
Oh, nah, you're right. You got that.
Okay, so shut up. So, what do you mean you Kanye me?
Cisco, I would have been like, yo, Cisco had the best year of the year. That's what I just would have said. You know, I'm a realist. I can't. And it's like, I want to tune that out, but I feel like these conversations are very important because I feel like,
Yeah.
they're just very important to have because it might be a situation where you might be on the opposite end of that. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be on the opposite end of that. Well, you had a great fucking year. You're not even recognized that at all. Like, you know, and that's where it killed me. That's why I put a post about it last year. But it is what it is. It's their platform.
Yep.
It is, again, it doesn't make or break you. It's not, do you guys agree there's people that shouldn't be on that list this year? Can you guys agree without saying her names? Be real and stop massaging your relationships.
No, I agree.
No,
I
agree too. I think, bro.
And nobody should hate us for saying that. No one should say that we're hating for saying that. There's facts, okay, and there's fiction, all right. And if you say you are the best of this year, and you know that you're not the best of this year, like I would be like, yo, I don't deserve to be on there this year. I didn't really try. I was booked all year long, but I didn't try. I didn't check off the boxes on my own criteria for me to want to be on that year. I'm top 5 in Boston, right? But I didn't check off those. But it wasn't my main focus.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying,
dude.
You want to be on that list. And that's being real with yourself.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, I think all of us don't do it for the awards or anything like that.
Yeah.
We do it for the love of music. We do it for the love of nightlife, and we do it for the love of DJing.
I love you, Snacks. I just want to let you know that I love you. Don't roll your eyes at me, brother. The camera caught that. The camera caught that.
And now he's gonna zoom in on it and make a whole specific snippet for him, so he can put it on his thing. I know how you move. I know exactly. Yo. Mark this time right now.
minutes.
Mark this time right now. He's gonna clip it. It's gonna be on his page in 2 weeks.
He rolled his eyes. Yo, rewind it right now. Matter of fact, Phil, play the clip. I love you, Snacks. I just want to let you know that I love you. Don't roll your eyes at me, brother. The camera caught that.
Run it back. That's awesome.
You see, he did. I'm not crazy.
You guys kill me.
There's the Henny in the system. I'm feeling good, guys. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. Fantastic, bro.
Moving on to the next subject. The DJs, I mean, we're going to get very technical.
What would that be?
We're going to get real nerdy.
Ooh.
Oh, man. What a fucking week. 8 days ago, Serato, which is, I feel like, the go-to DJ software for open format DJs.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're not Serato, you're kind of a fucking weirdo, but whatever. Serato, sponsor us.
Come on, Serato.
Please.
Come on.
But big news dropped in the DJ community. Serato 3.0 beta as it currently stands.
It's in testing.
In testing, so don't fucking use it during your gigs. Serato Stems. This is the headline here from Serato website. Serato Stems will change DJing forever. Join the public beta now. Unrivaled real-time audio source separation. If you don't know what stems are, it's basically like when you're looking to get the acapella or the instrumental only, which is what most people, like if we're keeping it bare bones, that's a stem. And then if you want to add just the drums, just the bass, just the fucking guitar, just the keys.
Yep.
These are all stems of
ultimate isolation.
the song. Isolation. So only give me the keys. I just want the keys. Don't give me anything else. When a lot of producers do like remixes, they'll be like, yo, give me the stems, and then I manipulate it from there, and that's how I create my remix. Whatever.
Yep.
So, again, coming off from this site here, we're thrilled to be able to finally share the first iteration of our game-changing DJ technology, Serato Stems. DJs can now create their own unique sound like never before with endless possibilities. Powered by a one-of-a-kind machine learning algorithm, Serato Stems provides unrivaled sound quality performance. DJs can now create acapellas or instrumentals at the click of a button, isolating or removing parts to create smooth transitions.
Yo,
this is not for every DJ. I'm gonna start off that way. A lot of motherfuckers are like, yeah, boy, I'm gonna solo the fucking piano, bring in the beep, 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 and then turn off the nah, it's not for it's not for every DJ, okay?
Oh my God.
This is for the you know,
the real ones.
the sound DJs that know what the fuck they're doing, and it's just like I see a lot of motherfuckers and they're excited. It's cool, but you know with the endless possibilities of mixing that you can do with this thing,
Right.
is amazing. But make sure you have enough computer power to run this shit, or your shit's gonna crash. Your shit's like it
heavy.
takes a lot of because
Lot of
what it's
RAM.
doing it when because I guess the process is
It's amazing.
there's a folder that pops down like your prepared folder. You
Okay.
drag the track in there, analyzes it, right?
In real time.
In real time.
So you can't just throw it on.
No. You have to let it analyze, but it's fairly quick, depending on your computer. It's fairly quick. And you can do streaming songs as well. So
That's crazy.
Tidal. all
That
stuff.
that
Yo,
technology is honestly nuts.
I have never been more excited as a DJ for any piece of technology to come out
Yeah.
since this. And I know, like,
DJ Twitter's been insane.
I've been DJing for 10 years, so obviously, like, I've seen a lot. I know you've obviously seen
DJ
more.
Cammy V.
You've obviously seen more than both of us. Like, through, you know what I mean?
I mean, you were there when Serato first came out,
when it first
Right.
dropped, bro, that
or
shit
when
was
Scratch-
amazing.
or even
Yo,
just Scratch Live.
So
to have everything and not have I threw my CD book like this.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what that. I would love to talk about that, but continue.
right. So for us, and I know for me and Snacks, for us to see something like this,
Yeah,
this piece of technology is so powerful. It also cuts down like our prep time and
I mean, most of the edits I make are for acapellas.
you can do it live, and that opens up the door for a lot of other DJs to experiment.
God.
And this is only going to push the culture forward. I mean, dude, the stuff that I'm imagining on how I'm
Yeah.
going to be able to do this in the gig, rather
Even some of our favorite DJs are tweeting. They're like, "I have never been this inspired and creative in years, just from playing around with beta." And I'm just like, I haven't gotten it yet because I
Me
don't want to
either.
like fuck my shit up.
Yep.
But like,
So you're able to download it and still
and kill
have,
keeps around. I know,
keeps
but I
Serato.
just like.
I'm just going to wait.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
I'm gonna wait.
I'm just gonna wait. And,
Yeah.
but like what I'm hearing and reading, and people are just like going crazy, and I love that. I love anything that like makes like you know me. I preach in the fucking group chat all the time. Like, I'm getting triggered already.
Go.
DJing is supposed to be complex because it is art.
Yeah.
If you are DJs, look at yourself and think about your career and think about what you do on a weekly basis. If you look at DJing linearly, something is wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing it maybe for the wrong reason, or you're not doing enough, or whatever. Because in no way can you be a painter and look at a blank canvas and look at it linearly.
It has to be
Linear.
limitless.
It has to be limitless. It
Yeah.
has to be multidimensional. It has to be layers. Like
Yeah.
so, something like this again adds a layer, right?
Big time.
And that's why
Big time.
that's why it's like again opening this level of creativity for a lot of people. But to FINGAZ' point, and what I do want to reiterate is like, don't just be making like random ass blends that don't make sense.
It's gonna happen.
We know.
Because a bunch of these
I've already seen a couple online. I've already seen a couple
a
online.
bunch of
I
these
was
DJ
like,
pools release edits that do it already.
Yeah.
We don't need you. Like I don't like hearing like Ozzy Osbourne and fucking I don't even know.
I don't want to hear certain keys over certain drums. I don't want to just don't.
Yeah.
Don't
It
do
doesn't
that.
mean that like anything can happen.
Experiment. Do what you gotta do, but like
Open your mind.
You have the power to upload and delete. Delete that shit. If that shit does not sound good, because for me as a remixer, as a producer,
Yep.
wow.
Well, Keys is big, right?
I already use
Oh, yeah.
I use a software to extract. But to have it on the Serato, which is easier, I can just do it real quick to any song or whatever.
Yeah,
Same thing, but like it's just right on hand.
What I love is the melody and the bass too.
Because I can be like,
That's pretty
yo,
cool.
So
if I'm,
nasty.
if
That's
I'm
pretty
mixing
cool.
out of a song now, I'm taking out the whole melody, just the drums. I'm bringing in just the
and
melody
it
of the
sounds-
other song.
Because we
Yeah,
do
it's
that,
clean.
but
It's-
it just we EQ it, so it's just removing lows,
right,
which is
right,
different.
Right. Yeah, it is
and
different.
just think about it. So what you guys are doing with Serato, we were trying to do that shit with CDJs, with CDs. So
Yeah.
like, I'm talking about like it has a looper on it. So we would loop on there to get out of certain songs. We used to do that on CDs.
Bro, that's so ugly.
That's So when Serato came out,
Yeah.
Bro, I can't imagine what that day must have been.
oh my god! Especially with my brain, my brain.
Yeah.
When Serato came out, that's when I started, like, cause bro, oh my fuck, you have no
How was it?
fucking idea.
What was it like? Okay, so again, for people who don't know, like Serato came out in 09?
Yeah. So
08?
08,
Something like
09.
that. Like Serato is fairly fucking new.
Yeah.
I feel like younger DJ. I feel like so I had Scratch Live for like
No, it was before 09, 08. Way before that. Way before
that?
It gotta be way before that.
So I had both Scratch Live and Serato, and I feel like my age group is like the last of Scratch Live.
Yeah.
So like I feel like most people that are younger than me, most DJs that are younger than me, only know the world with Serato.
1999.
But when did it like become like accessible to everybody?
1999.
Really? I thought it was way later.
I thought
than
it
that.
was mid 2000s.
So I'd say 2005, 2004, 2005 ish.
Because I know that in the early 2000s there were still places with CD.
I was still doing CDs, so I'd say
That's what I'm
2004
saying.
is.
So it came out in, bro, like
Yeah.
Microsoft came out in.
Yeah.
But not everyone had
Not
access to
everyone had it.
computers.
Right.
It was a new
And,
thing.
and just like anything, like
When
it
was
takes
it, like,
time to
everyone
adapt and
was-
become
For
a
me,
staple.
I'd say, like I said, 2005 to 2007 ish, around that. So yeah, you're right. around
So
that
believe it or not,
area.
guys, there was a time when people weren't DJing on computers. They were DJing on like CDs,
Straight up CDs.
on USBs. Before that, it was like actual fucking vinyl,
You guys would crash and burn.
actual crates, no visual DJing, right? So
And that's why even I was DJing, and motherfuckers be like, "Yo, why don't you look at the computer? Why don't you need to look at
I
the
used
computer?"
to. That's not how you do. I remember when first time I DJ with Incognito. He was only tempo writing, like he wasn't touching the you know how you can adjust it if you like flick around with the CDJ. And
Right,
shit?
right.
He wouldn't do that. He would only
Tempo right.
Adjust
tempo
with
write
the
because
wow.
Ignito's is older.
So that's
And he's
final.
used to that's final shit where like if you need to fix it, if you're off a little bit, you need to figure out if it's faster or slower,
Yeah.
and then get it right, and then like equalize it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do that sometimes,
Yeah.
but like if it's just like quick, and I already like know,
Yeah.
like, but it's when I saw it, I was just like, yo, he does that for like every song.
Yeah. To like scooch the jog wheel
Yeah,
a little
And
bit.
then back
yeah.
then, like your track freezing your computer breaking down was the CD scratched,
Yeah,
skipping.
I remember one time I was DJing with Hectic, who again is older than me, and at the end of every song he pressed Q. And I was like, why the fuck do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, bro, I'm just so you. He goes,
Yeah.
I guess in the beginning, like you had to reset the cue. So
The
like
cue, it was never like
it was
it.
was
Yeah.
like a loop, or you couldn't like
Yeah,
loop it or whatever.
yeah.
And he was like, I just did that for so long that I to this day.
Stop it.
I
loop it on the thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he like press it, and I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Because
Yeah.
I never had to do that.
Right.
So I'm curious of like what things that we do that in like 5 years it's like not obsolete but like obsolete, and like we're just like so trained.
Yeah, I know
do
for
it.
like vinyls, when I'm playing on vinyls, I'll do like phantom cue points. I'm
a big Phantom Q point guy.
even like when I'm doing it on controllers too, because it's just muscle memory at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Always put one in.
So yeah, super technical thing is like, when you press play on a vinyl,
CDJ or a vinyl.
on a vinyl specifically, like
There's a start.
there's like a and then it picks up, as opposed to like if you're playing on a controller and you hit play, it's boom, it immediately starts. So to get around that, you put a phantom cue point at the end of the song,
So
and have it
what he's saying is like after the song is over,
When the
there's
song-
no
You do
sound.
that a lot.
I do that a lot.
You do that with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
do that
watching
too,
him
bro.
do it, and I'm like, oh.
So
Yeah, yeah.
finish, and I'm gonna explain why and how I do it. So explain, because I feel like a lot of I remember I think you were the one who taught me this.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was like, oh, game changer. Now I do it a lot. So
Yeah.
continue explaining what it is, please.
So I put a cue point at the end, and shout out Danny Direct. Obviously, he taught me this because he
Fucking
taught me
man.
on the vinyls and everything. And so you put a cue point at the end to avoid the vinyl to slow start to get to the same tempo. And so the vinyl is already spitting at the correct tempo. And then it's also a little bit easier, I think, in my opinion, rather than like reaching over and hitting play, to just, okay, I got my touch pads in front of me. So now all I have to worry about is just hitting like the point in the touchpad to boom, to match up the beats or whatever.
So the reason why I use it so much is
That
especially
freaked me out, by
especially.
the way. Just wanna let you know that.
Sorry, Daddy.
Who the fuck was that?
Is
Because it's good on the S9 specifically.
so horny.
It's great on the S9.
You do that on every other song.
So this is why. So my style of DJing is when places where it allows it. I play at places where I can't do mic work. In Miami, I couldn't do it. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So what I do is like I use my my mic work as it's like literally part of my DJing in some ways that it's like I am completely setting up the next song.
Yep. A sample.
And it's like a sample, or it's like in it. But like, and you talk about this a lot. Everything is always in time.
Yep.
If I when I'm dropping, yeah. So I use the Phantom Cue a lot because, like Be Faithful, Crooklyn Clan, Fat Man School, right? If my train falls off the track, pick it up, boom. Yeah. And it's the next song, and and it's already playing, but it's just on a Phantom Cue. So when I press it,
it's in
the part that I need it to be, and
right.
everything is just perfectly in time.
Yep.
So that's why I use it so much, because like in a place like where we play together, like a bodega or like an Icon or something, where like a lot of my work playing with the crowd, getting everything hyped up, that everything's just like fucking moving like clockwork, and it's all in time, on beat, and it's just like you know how it is. It's just like the energy is always high. You know what I'm saying? So I use Phantom Cues like crazy.
Yeah, bro, it's such a good tool.
I love it. Yeah,
such a good tool.
But Serato Stems, man, get excited about it. We're excited about it. Shout out Serato for what an amazing update. And I'm just very excited.
Hey, DJs, how about let's do this. DJs that listen to the podcast, if you downloaded it, make something, create something, and whatever we'll play it on here.
Yo, shout out DJ B Ren, bro. Like the day it came out, as my homie from Pittsburgh.
Yes,
very
sir.
talented guy,
bro. Big fan of his.
We DJed together in Pittsburgh. He has the same brain as us. The day after, had a full routine.
Word?
I was like, bro, you were up all night, weren't you? He was like, yep. He's like, I had not slept. Had a full routine, nice video. Went crazy on reels.
For guys that think like we do, it's like it's just limitless now. It's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, Spider Tech is tweeting like crazy. Spider Tech is big guy, like globalization, very talented dude. He's like, bro, like he's the one who was like, I've never been this inspired like in years.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And guys that don't do mixed in key type shit. This is going to be very important in your mixes when you're taking certain keys from certain songs and stuff like that. Like you gotta really be on point. It's going to sound like train wrecks for a while.
Yeah, well, it's not to say that like everything needs to be in key.
No, because I don't use mixed
blends,
key.
But when you're doing like if you're specifically trying to do blends, there's things that can get away with it without it. But like if you're trying to do like the real blends and shit.
So another thing, not having Serato, not having mixed in key, trained me to do that live.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I do that live. I never look at the key. So when people are like, yo, put it in, you don't do mixing key, I'm like, no, I don't need to.
So I do key lock.
Yeah.
Well, because I care.
Yeah.
I
mean,
if they sound right.
It's a tool. It's a tool.
Yeah.
It is
right?
a tool, yeah.
So use it to your advantage. Obviously, if it's there, of course, it's to work. Work easier, not hard. Work smarter, not harder.
Well, I'm also a guy that does a lot of acapella work.
Same.
So if I need them to sound right.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a key lock.
You know what I'm really excited about, other than the fact that like you can in live time isolate the acapella, but like if I'm playing out a track, rather than having, because I do have, when I'm mixing acapellas, I do have intro edits of another song. And so when I'm dropping, so sometimes I set a cue point for the intro beat. And when I'm like trying to blend an acapella in live time with the intro beat, I have to hit them at the same time. So it drops it back to the start of the song, and that gets a little bit hairy, but we make it work. But I'm so excited because there's an option.
A few times.
I don't even know what you said.
He knows what I said.
Speak up, Fingers.
I know I said I've cut snacks a few times, but it's how you recover. It's everything.
You ever heard of human error?
No, of course. You know what I'm saying?
After a couple Hennessy and ginger ales, Fingers?
No, but come on. I know. But
let me get to my point. Let me get to my point.
Because we do this a lot.
DJ Cammy V.
That's right. Dude, I love the fact that you can drop out everything else except the beat, rather than me having to go back to the start of the song to then it's like, okay, boom, here's the beat. Boom, just take it out, and then I can start the acapella.
Which is fire, because you can now replace one of the key options on the pad.
Yes, dude.
For it. And
I'm replacing roll. I don't use
and-
No, no, no.
Yeah,
It better be
replace a
slicer.
roll.
It better be slicer.
Or slicer.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
the roll. I love the roll.
roll could be useful. So even if you do the slicer, right? So below each one, you can assign an effect. So you can put the echo.
Yep.
Yes.
I saw that. That's just hot.
Yeah,
So then it drops the drums with like a delay on it. It's fire.
yeah, that's sick. I love that.
And then did you just refer to something that I caught? Wow, that was fucking hilarious.
That's how excited I am.
Oh my god.
Hey, no!
Train has left the tracks.
You see what happens when you reach greatness? Every little thing about you is nitpicked. Like you've never messed up a blend before.
No, okay, listen.
Uh.
It's how you recover. I'm not perfect either. It's how you recover. Which you recover well, is what I'm saying. You
Yeah,
have
and
good
I'm also doing
recovery.
like 4 things at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine. Me too. You know what I mean? It's good. You are a pianist among the mixer and things. Like I like that. And yo, and listen, there's
I love
not
your hand gestures so much.
yo. Listen, being here for a while. It makes me sound so fucking old. I'm only 31. Being here for a while. I first time I was in Boston, I was 17 years old. What the fuck
Hey,
were you
talk to
doing?
him.
What the fuck were you doing?
I was
DJ Cammy V.
wrong one.
But yo,
Oh, well.
I mean, but there's more room for error because we're doing so much things
Yes.
at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're showmen. Man.
But that's why when there's like DJ again the linear as DJs and they still can't even do cool shit or they're still fucking up. I'm
Track
like, bro,
A to track B.
I'm like,
simple
bro,
shit.
this, like you're doing like the bare minimum, bro.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then they get nominated on the BMA. So
Oh my-
what's the point?
Moving on. Thank you, Fingers.
No.
I did want to.
When the Henny's in the system,
Yeah,
the truth
yeah.
comes out. I'm gonna fuck. I don't need the Henny to do that. I don't need, but you know what it is. But yo, listen, it's like not for nothing, bro. I know you're gonna kill this shit. I can't wait to hear your set. Using this. I can't.
Yeah,
the
I'm
one
all-
person I
all
thought
of
of. No, the one person I thought of. The first person I thought of. I was like, yo, I want to see what Snacks is gonna do with this shit.
GimmeSnax, baby.
I'm either gonna look at him or look at him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure I'm gonna get drunk one night when we're playing it. And I'm
I
just gonna do
feel
some
like
crazy
if the
shit
night's gonna be at Bodega, the next time
Yeah.
we're at Bodega,
I love
I
that.
feel like that's the room where I test shit out. That's the spot where
yeah.
I'm free. I'm free everywhere, but that's the spot where
Yeah.
I'm fucking free.
did want to open up the floor to you two specifically on want to talk about a couple personal DJ stories.
I don't know her.
We love.
I don't know her.
We talk about hypotheticals here. We talk about the future. We talk about stuff that's going on, but we want to hear the real stories. Cam, you want to go first?
What the fuck are we doing here?
DJ Cammy V.
I'm scared.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I do want to invite esteemed producer, the visionary, the creator, the father in a lot of sense, Ado. Everyone, give it a for Ado.
Let's go, 8-0.
Want to invite Ado,
Yes,
the dope father. You got space? You got space, brother?
Il Padrino.
So, for those who don't know,
American citizen.
USA. USA. USA.
So Ado is
You want to cut?
the father. Dope. Oh yeah, my bad, bro. Dope Entertainment. DEG. Dope Sports.
Should have been nominated this year, by the way, on BMAs.
And but we wanted to invite you here for a specific reason, and part of it is obviously as a promoter, someone who I mean more than promoter, but someone who runs a night, right? Runs a night at these venues. At the end of the day, we have to look at numbers, right? And how, and which is performance, right? Performance, how the DJ is doing, how are other promoters that might work for you, how are they producing, the videographers, are they doing their job, photographers, bartenders, everybody. So between me and you, our conversation is just, me being your music director and everything. We're always talking about how did our conversation, how did the music go? How did the DJ do? and how did that ultimately reflect on the production of the night? Did people leave at 1 a.m. or did they still to the end? Or did they stay to the end? Did the bar did it do this much or that much? Did the tables move that way or this way, right? And recently, our very own Cammy V played at Icon, and we had a the text I was getting, Cammy crushed it as always, but there was a very interesting kind of dynamic with how the night plays out that I think Cammy wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So, and obviously have you involved just to get your 2 cents on it as well. So Cammy, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So, at this stage of like DJing for me specifically, I'm just looking to continue to elevate in all areas. And one of the biggest areas too is just like revenue. Like when I walk into a venue, how can the venue make money? And ultimately, like I can be the best, I can do my best performance possible. And the venue maybe hits that bar or it doesn't hit the bar that the venue wants to hit. And so I know Icon last Saturday, table sold out and everything. And the energy, I hadn't played Icon in a little bit, so I knew I needed to come in and absolutely fucking destroy it. And, just the feedback from the people that I spoke to, everyone agreed that I threw down an unbelievable set. But the numbers maybe fell a little bit short of what was expected. So, yeah, no, I'm just curious on, like, your thoughts on that. And, I'm just looking to continue to push myself to help the venues make money, help you make money, and just overall create a better experience.
Yeah, I think there's a multitude of things, right? Like hitting capacity is great visually, right, at any venue, but it doesn't always mean that the numbers are going to be on there, right? Consumers are also a factor, right? You could play the best set, like you said, but consumers ultimately, you control the consumers of how they drink, your song selection and all these different things. But like I look at Icon, let's say that night specifically, right? Probably our busiest night from start to finish. We were at capacity, both rooms absolutely rocking. But when I look at some of the other nights where numerically, right, have been better, I see a crowd that comes in with a little bit less energy than the tone, right? Like you killed it to the point where you had people on the dance floor and your job is to create that vibe.
Right.
But sometimes it's, okay, how do you balance them a little bit to give them especially in a different room, right? How do you get people out of that centered dance floor and to go outside of the booths
to the bars,
to go to the bar?
Yep.
Right. But also when you do have a capacity night, that does affect, all right, there's a lot of people. How do you maneuver them to get them to the bar? How do you maybe, do a transition song to maybe get some people to go to the bathroom or calm down for a second?
Yep.
And then that creates, room for the bar spenders. There's some people that are bar spenders, there's table spenders. So I think it's a mixture of different things, but it's also a mixture in us, right? And it's also a mixture of the consumer that's there that night that's going to dictate how much they drink. Did they come in and already have a lot of drinks, so maybe they're not going to drink that much tonight?
Yep.
Right. So I don't always blame it on the DJ. I look at bottles coming out right at certain times of the night.
Yeah.
When I see a bottle come out at 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30,
That's late.
That's late, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge impact that the DJs. The DJ setting to make sure that like, oh dang, like I'm at the table, I'm gonna order that next, Casamigos.
We're having such a great fucking time. This
Let's
cannot
go!
end now.
Coming, yeah.
This cannot end now. Get another fucking bottle. Yeah.
So
I know.
yeah, so money because we're judged, right? Like I think the promoters or the business owners that are that care, right? They should be asking those questions.
Yeah.
They should be asking, hey, what did we do, right? That way I can, as a business owner, go back to Snacks and tell them the information, right? I'm not looking at music because that's not my job, right? That's his job. He's technical enough to understand. Like I don't put myself in roles where I'm not good at. I put other people around me to do those things. But at the end of the day, like I'm judged by numbers.
Yep.
Right? Like do you think the people that are, owning these nightclubs or establishments are going to have you if you're doing dog shit? No, of course. They have a business to run too.
Right.
Right? And so I bring the people, right? And the people need to align to the vibe and energy that's there. And a lot of dots have to connect in order to have, right, numbers that are, wow, okay, this was great.
100%. And I think this is an element that a lot of DJs probably don't even think about when they're playing, or, you know, prep work or planning to walk into a room. This is just like an afterthought, and it's something that definitely goes into consideration when booking DJs. So for me personally, like, I heard, like, obviously, you know, I feel like I did a great job, and
you did, though. Like,
yeah.
and that's the thing, right? I can't name.
Why not?
Why not? One of
Hold on. Here you go. Give him 5 minutes.
Bartender staff. You know, she's a hard critic, right? In terms of making sure, right? Making sure that the nights, and it's good, right? It gives you a reality check of,
absolutely,
because we may think, oh wow, a lot of people in here is great, but I think Snack said it on one of the podcast episodes. When you're a DJ, right, you are on that respective venue's team. You gotta go shake the security's hands. You gotta say hi to the managers. You gotta make sure you're playing not only for the people but for the staff to make money. Right? There's a ladder of operation that needs to happen. So promoters sometimes forget it's not just about the money you make. It's about what the people that are working in that establishment make as well.
Because then they love you.
Exactly.
Like, we love their
when
nights.
he's here, I'm making money.
I love when that DJ's here. I know it's going to be a great night.
Yeah.
And this is perfect because I remember that a night where, like I said, I'm focused on keeping people on the dance floor.
Yep.
Right? I'm not really, at some point, that's why when I walk on, I want that to happen. We had a conversation to where the night was packed, but the numbers were kind of low at a certain point. Then we had a conversation about, you know, what his role is as a promoter. Remember that conversation we had at Hava, and what they expect of you to keep this thing rolling.
Of course.
After that conversation, there was a night, I believe it was Memorial Day weekend, which it wasn't that packed.
Yeah.
But you guys made money. I took that aspect of like, all right, cool. It's not all it's not all about keeping people on the dance floor.
Right.
You are like a puppet master.
Yeah.
Yes.
So people can vibe to the bar.
Yeah.
People can vibe to the bathroom. People can vibe to here to that.
It's not a face melter, but I'm enjoying myself. I like the song.
Right.
You people with DJs is they always want that climax moment. You're not gonna always wear human.
Right.
It's not always gonna happen.
Right.
But people are thirsty. People are drinking. Like if you're dropping bangers after bangers after bangers, you're keeping everybody on the dance floor. What's gonna happen? At 1 o'clock, people are gonna fucking leave the club because they're tired.
Of course.
Right.
All right. But if you balance that,
Yeah.
which we had that conversation, he's like, "You're a great DJ. Like, I can't tell you anything about music. You know what you're doing, but this is what they expect of me.
Yeah.
See if you can incorporate that in where to make sure that we keep this thing rolling, so you can get booked. You can get booked. We can continue this thing of what I'm saying. So once he did that, and that made a huge difference that night, where it wasn't that much people, but they spent money.
Bro, that's a thing, and there's only one way you can. I mean, in my opinion, there's only one way you can take that information, and like now, I went back to the lab. I'm like, okay, now I have like a crate where it's like, okay, like this is a money booster section. Like when I'm like, okay, I can sneak this in. Maybe it be like a 5 to 10 minute set of like either R&B or some throwback dance hall, something like that, where people are still like very familiar, vibing, and they want to stay. But hey, now's a good time to go grab a drink.
Yeah, the dudes who, like we talked about in the past, who like aren't there to dance with girls for whatever reason, they're gonna be like, oh shit, this is that girl music. I'm gonna go to the bar. That's that section for them. And then maybe the section of the opposite, the people that love throwing their hands up and like fist pumping. You do this section where like, okay, like this isn't our shit yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think why we wanted to bring this up and thanks for hopping on is like DJs, especially younger DJs and even veteran DJs that are still trying to like figure their way out or figure their way through things is like the people in the background are like seeing this a lot differently than you as just the guy who's playing music. And it is a business and like Ada was saying, like there are other people that need to be made happy to make a whole thing like kind of like all click together, because when it clicks together,
it's beautiful.
Everyone's making fucking money and everyone's having the best
thing.
time of their life and everything. It's that unforgettable night, and that's what we always want. So Ado, I appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, bro. Thank you very much.
Quick segment. I thought I was going to be in a hot seat.
You want to stay a couple 5 minutes? Give me some time. I can work. Let me work. Make me work. Let me work.
We told Ada before we started. We were like, hey, we're gonna ask you to hop on at some point. We're not gonna tell you why, just so like it can be organic, whatever. Yeah. Straight face. now we know. He was like, fuck. What the fuck are they gonna ask me?
Yeah.
And so, moving on. I know FINGAZ had a little bit of an experience as well that I think is very important and things that we've touched upon in the past. But this is a very real scenario
real time.
that
It lasted a few
we wanna
days.
talk about.
It went on for a few days. So
DJ Cammy V.
I DJ'd at a spot. I love Cammie.
I love you too,
I don't know
man.
why I'm pressing the wrong.
No, but I love him. Always drop him when I'm talking. I love him. It's fine.
I love you, bro.
So I got booked for a spot, and they asked me, "Hey, do you want an opener, or whatever?" I'm like, "Is it gonna affect my pay?" No. Okay. Cool. Well, no problem. All right. This person is gonna. They asked me, "Do you DJ on a specific controller?" I was like, "Excuse me." I was like, "What?"
We're at the club, right?
I was like, "Why are you asking me this?" This is what's going through my brain before I even texted. I'm like, "Why?" This is what they use. I'm like, "No, I'm not DJing on that. I can DJ on that. I'm not DJing on that. We're gonna use the 5K plus equipment that
minimum
that the club has bought." You know what I'm saying? And one thing, they were like, "Okay, let me see what I can figure it out." So there's some back and forth with the opening DJ. Clearly, he's a younger guy. From his perspective, he DJed over 5 years. But I guess it's only one.
But that don't really mean that much.
Whatever, it don't. Which shows itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but and then there's different calibers because my first 2 years made it seem like I DJed for 10 years. So whatever.
Yeah, but computers weren't invented back then, and
Yeah.
music was at a very different place. Like when it's only Beethoven and shit making music, it's just a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Says the guy that used to look up to me. Relax.
I do look.
Hold on, wait. So, don't take me off track, but I love you, Snacks. It's
Love
fine.
you too.
So then he asks me, "What's the equipment?" So I tell him what the equipment is, and this and that, and they were like, "Can they DJ on that?" And he was like, "Oh, he'll try to figure it out." So right away, the next question was, how many USB E? Is it USB C or USB E with from the mixer to the laptop?
It's a USB A to B.
Yeah.
How many of those go into the computer to function?
Which is not a bad question.
It's not a bad question.
But it's a bad question assuming that you've done this before.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's clear that they have never done
Exactly.
this before.
I said there's one. I broke it down. I said,
Relax.
relax, just
Just
chill.
one.
You have your controller, which was the SZ, right? So all it is everything's separate. Mixer, 2 turntables, whatever I explained, RCA to the mixer, 1 cable, 1 USB going to the computer. That's all you need. You're good. Download the driver for this mixer. You should be fine. But my thing was just like that whole process of explaining that.
That's not your job.
It's not my job to do that.
They should just listen to the show.
You know what I'm saying? And I directed him to the show, so you might be watching.
Hey!
I did. He knows you. I think you know him too.
Yeah, I do.
He did a Slacker event for you.
Yeah.
And I told him, "Yo, you're it's real. No names, but I had to do this because it's a teaching moment." And we've always talked about newer guys, like, don't get like, and this is for promoters as well. Do not, because I've seen this happen. Do not let a DJ come to the club with a motherfucking controller. Don't fucking do it. If they can't DJ on the setup that's there, don't fucking do it. My first night at Vertigo when I was 17, I came from CDs. I didn't know how to DJ on turntables. I had to learn how to DJ on vinyl. My first night, and they had it on bungee cords. They had it on it was a hollow thing that had bungee cords crisscrossed, and it was like this. Okay, so
Is this like Game of Thrones time, or?
bro, I don't know why they had it like that, but like, but Sticks shout out to Sticks giving me my first chance. Sticks, butter, because he got it.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, and it's just going like this. I'm like, yo, fuck. And then he gave me mad drinks.
Hands and shit.
Give me mad, at that time, give me mad drinks. I'm getting lit. I'm like, I did a few transitions, and I'm like, yo, bro,
It's different.
It's different, bro. It's different. But after that day, I went back and I did my fucking homework, and I made sure I can DJ in every place, no matter what it is. Please, one thing that I see that's happening is there's a trend of DJs bringing controllers to like big name clubs in Boston. No disrespect to you guys, but
that shit's mad.
cut that shit out. Cut that shit out.
Corny. You judging them?
I'm judging them.
Looking at them kind of funny.
I'm looking at you pretty funny right now. I don't like it. For me, the one thing that I don't like of what's going on right now is like there's too much leniency. There's not enough motherfuckers calling people out. I feel like I'm one of the few motherfuckers that do that shit. That really, because I come from that cloth. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is just people just being too nice to each other. Mm-hmm. I feel like I said, like one thing about it is just like not being able to speak your mind. And that's my one thing with Kanye West that I can relate to him with is he's not afraid to disagree with somebody. He's not afraid. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have a dialogue conversation, but it's kind of degrading the room a little bit for me. Like there should be a certain amount of caliber to be in a room of that prestige name, that top tier, to where back there when I came in, man, bro, when I tell you I had to come in with my fucking A game, I had to come in and make sure that I killed it every transition, every set. There's not that feeling in it anymore. There's not those gatekeepers. There's people that control it as far as like we are the ones that people look up to or whatever but I feel like there's not that like that harsh reality, that harsh truth that people slam people on the table with, like, no, you're not ready to be here, okay?
And that's been the hardest job, the hardest thing about me and Cammy's job in the venues that we do, because having that conversation is really hard. And I'm the fucking man. I come from this. I do this. He's like, yeah, but you can't even play on this shit, bro. And I'm not gonna make it harder on my audio guy that I fuck with and talk to every other day and see every week, because you can't do shit. I thought you're the man. You know what I'm saying? And so again, I agree. I think it's like degrading in a sense where it's like your bag isn't like that, and to be here, your bag needs to be like that. In my opinion, I think your opinion.
Absolutely.
And there's in downtown Boston, there's a cap on pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we're paying local DJs, right? And I've gone to a point where I say no, or I just don't do it if I don't like the room, or if I see the way the room's going, I'll say no. You know what I'm saying? It's just because you're putting me at the same pay rate as these dudes. You out of your fucking mind? Again, I know what you're making at the bar. I know when I'm here, I know what's going on.
Yeah, I
can see it.
It should be relative.
I can see it. So if you're gonna pay me at the same pay rate as these dudes, and you're booking these guys here, and this is supposed to be a prestige night, a premiere night, come on, man. That's gonna make me feel a certain way. No, I'm not hating. Everyone deserves a chance, but there were steps to that, and I feel like people are now
skip them.
They're leaping. They're trying to leap over it, and I feel like there's not enough control as far as guys that really are cut from that cloth or have that respect for the art to be like, no, you need to wait. You need to take your time. You need to do what you got to do to get to that point, to be good, to be able to open for me.
But it's also the point. You need to have some level of self-awareness, right? Because a lot of times, like when I'm starting people off at like the venues that I book at, I'm always like, there's a certain process, and I know it's very similar to his, where it's like, okay, send me a mix. Okay, send me a mix. All right, awesome. Like, what would you play at this type of, like, the night that I'm booking at? Okay, perfect. Tell you what, why don't you come do a couple gigs with me? That way I can, if anything goes wrong, because at the end of the day, we're both held accountable you know, if it doesn't go the way that the venue
we
wants
just
it to
heard
go.
it from Ado himself. If the shit fucks up, if it hits the fan,
Turn that fan is making me cry.
When
it's hitting me dead in my face right now.
it's an emotional
That's so
conversation.
emotional.
Sorry,
bro, but
We
there's-
just heard from Ado that shit matters. So like,
it does matter.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it does fall on us, right? And you know, I always, you know, if people are putting in the effort, I will give them a chance. I will continue to, like, you know, build them up to the point where I feel comfortable of giving them their own night. And recently I did have like somebody open for me and they're like, yeah, so when can I get my own night here? And it's just like, hey man, listen, like, I think you have a lot of potential. I think that, yeah, dude, I do envision you having your own night here, but I just don't think now's the right time. Like, I want to continue to work with you. Cause like when they're on and then when I'm on, you know, there's like definitely an energy change. Like it's just the it factor. And it can be, you know, it can be taught, it can be learned, but there's just that it factor, and it's tough to like explain. But we need to, you need to have some self-awareness to be like, hey, like, you know, you'll know when you're ready, or you should know when you're ready, and you shouldn't even have to ask, because I know when you're ready, and I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be like,
yeah,
We have to
job.
we gotta be real. We gotta be real
Yeah.
with what's going on, because it's watering down these spots that's supposed to be like, you know, career, you know, bullet points. You know,
Yeah.
milestones. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, you know, for me to be in a spot and not feel that anymore, not feel that grandioso to be there, it's just like, it's because I'm seeing these flyers and I'm seeing this shit that's going on, and it's just like, yo, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? You know, there has to be a kind of a fall off on care of that. You know what I'm saying? So promoters, please, like, you know, do your due diligence with the DJ. I know sometimes, like, you know, when you're doing favors and stuff like that, and it happens, you know what I'm saying? You know, someone's gonna slip through the crack. But come on, man, it's got to be a caliber of and there's got to be checkpoints.
But that's when it becomes difficult, when you have a dude who is business savvy and social savvy but don't know fucking music. That's why, again, Ado just told you, he's like, I don't know fucking music, so I hired someone to do it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where that's where that happens.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like in
you gotta
know, a
trust
lot of
the
these
guys.
promoters, like, they don't really know,
Right.
but they know how many followers you got,
Mm.
or they know how many people you can bring,
Or you don't charge high.
or you're undercutting.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, like if you're, you know, I guess I'm at the point where I'm comfortable saying no, because it's just like I don't want to be. I shouldn't be at the same price point as a dude that
Doesn't even know how to hook shit up.
that's not using headphones, that's doing that. I can't transition. That's not versatile. Like, you know, I'm doing myself a disservice. Yeah, I can go in there and make a difference, but still, it's just like, yo, no, you're getting a different experience with me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how that's how it should be. But that's just like, and the DJ, I'm not talking about him right now, but like, you know, his song selection was straight. I heard a few things, like, he just didn't know. He didn't know to look for the familiar at. Oh. Listen, earlier you had a word earlier too. Relax. Familiarities. Did I say it right? Familiar.
I'm not gonna help you. You got this.
Yes.
No. You gotta get it right. Get it right. Get it right.
I don't know.
Get it right.
What word
What are
you're
you
talking
saying?
about.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying, bro. I can't feel you on this point until you get this word right.
Familiarities.
Similarities?
No. Is
Family?
that a word?
Family?
Is that a word?
What are we saying?
Similarities, but familiar. Is that a word? Familiarity. I said it.
No, you did not say that word.
Familiarities.
Familiarities?
Familiarities.
Fingers. Familiarities?
Familiarities.
Is that the word you're looking for?
Find the shit that looks like the shit that you use at the crib. All right. If you look at the mixer, you know there's 2 channels. You know, hit my drop. You know there's 2 channels. you know that there's not for the headphone. Look for the headphones. Look for the effects. Get there early.
Yeah.
Fuck around.
Yeah, I get there early. Was a big one.
Know your basics. Know your motherfucking basics, man. And stop looking at the fucking computer. Put the headphones on.
Wait, so what was the word?
Familiarities. I said it.
That's the. But I know the
That's not how he said
DJ.
it.
Word of the day. Word of the day.
What was he trying to say earlier? Phil, run the clip. What was he trying to say?
Linearly,
earlier?
but I never said it wrong. I just had to slow it down. When
No,
I
you were like
no, I said
you sounded
linearly,
like,
and
you
then I
sounded
got
like
it.
the podcast when you was trying to sing.
No, that was rough.
Sound like a mumble rapper right there, man.
Do you have the word yet? or not?
Migo.
I want to make sure you.
I
leave this
said it
on-
4 times.
No,
you
you
want
did
me
it not right.
familiarities?
Huh?
Familiarities. You say it.
Familiarities.
No. Is he saying it right?
Yeah, I'm saying it.
Familiarities. Familiarities.
Familiar. Right?
You're saying familiarities. That's what you're saying. Say it.
I feel like you're saying it so wrong.
No, say it.
Now it's making me think familiarities.
Yeah, familiarities.
What? You just added a whole nother syllable.
That's what I'm saying. You're adding syllables.
I feel like I know how to solve this
Yo,
whole
my tongue game's crazy. It's
pan.
hard.
I know how to solve this pan fiasco.
Ask the white boy. Go ahead, say it.
Familiarities.
Familiarities. That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Familiarities.
You wasn't even saying it right either.
I don't know, bro.
Yes, I was. Familiarities.
Familiarities.
There we go.
Cammy V is useful, man. I tell you, you gotta keep your white boy on deck. just tell you gotta keep your white boy on deck. You never know.
Another
Oh, boy.
amazing episode and another way to end it.
That's it.
That's it, baby.
On, I love when we end an episode on familiarities. When we keep shit, cool.
We didn't even talk about Kanye.
We're out of time.
Fuck. Cause you gotta go run. Yo, he's about to run right now. I'm about to drive right behind him like this. What am I gonna play?
Marathon number 2 coming soon.
Let's go.
But another amazing episode. This was heavy. I mean, very just high volume info and opinions
Yeah.
and stuff. This is what the podcast is all about.
Be real with your friends. You're not gonna lose a relation. Be real and respectful. There's a way to talk. There's a way to disagree with each other. You don't have to disrespect each other to be able to have a conversation and not agree with each other all the time. All right? We clearly don't agree on everything, but we're able to have a conversation, to have a healthy conversation to where we get to a ground where we understand each other. You don't have to agree. As long as you understand, you can go along with it.
Talk about what you disagree with. Talk about the familiarities among each other. And just make sure this shit's smooth. I do also want to take this opportunity to, one more time, go on BostonMusicAwards.com.
Yes.
Find your boy under DJ of the Year. If you fuck with the podcast, support me, support the podcast. Eventually, we're going to be included on the best podcast of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's definitely a goal, so look out for that coming soon. As always, follow your hosts at GimmeSnax, at Cammie_V, 3 M's, at FINGAZ Live, at Dope Entertainment Official, and we're going to keep the ball rolling. Thanks, guys.
Brr.